The product you see on the field for a drum corps has lots of layers that happen prior to seeing the end result.
We usually get together for a meeting in October, just sit at a table and just start brainstorming. Many times Scott Coder, the program coordinator, will just bring stacks of CDs and we'll listen to music, not so much that we think that we want to play, but different flavors of music that we would want to see incorporated in the show somehow, whether we're going to use original music or use it as actual pieces.
After we've chosen a program and picked the music, you shape, you edit, you pare down that music and kind of start really big and broad and then keep cleaning and detailing until that final little scrape or little
Then it's my job to take those ideas back in front of the computer and my keyboard and start to bring those ideas to life for the brass.
Then we all get that usually as a computer file. Then I sit down behind my computer and I will start with the sections of the music that I feel the strongest about. This morning I received another file from Richard. This is an example of how we use technology. Yesterday he added this measure, 53A, but then today we added a 53B to make this culminating effect longer. So my responsibility today was to get this 53B written right away, and then I emailed this measure, basically these two bars by themselves. I just emailed out to the guys in rehearsal, so it's already taught, and that was an hour ago.
When I sit down to write drill, I actually have a page, a production sheet, so I can see where I am, what's coming up. I know where the instruments have to be, I know what the color guard is doing at this point, I know who's playing in the battery. So I'll listen to the music, try and figure out how I can visually interpret the music as well as the concept. The priority 95% of the time is always placing the musicians in an area that they can succeed playing. I mean, that's your primary responsibility as a drill writer. The tricky part, and oftentimes the fun part, is figuring out how to do that in an effective way that people will respond to and enjoy. You know, before doing it by hand, you had to just train your mind to know how things move from one set to the other. With the computer programs, the animation is there for you so you can actually look at it. When the members are learning the drill, they use a system of coordinates, meaning they're given information side to side and front to back of where they're supposed to be located at any particular time. So they'll be given a coordinate A and their next coordinate B, and they know how many counts it takes to get from one to the other.
Once Michael Gaines starts to drive a visual idea, we may have to add or take out counts from the music that we've been playing for 3 or 4 months. If he needs 16 more counts to develop a visual idea, then it's our job to create the music to go with the movie.
Every day, Brett, can we add some more counts here? Michael needs more counts. He's had all the music for 3 months, but he needs more counts now.
When I decide on choreography, I take the music first and say you have a low note that's here and then a high note that's here, and it goes ba-da-da, comes up, then you want to make the flag do that same type of motion. Just like a long note, it holds out for a certain amount of time. You want to make sure you see the color for that certain amount of time. So the audience can feel like they understand the music better, or maybe it becomes words to the music for them, or they actually get to see the music.
Once we get to the 16th of June, which is the first show, from then on, that last step is a very long process, because at that point we have to be out with the kids, we have to understand the pacing of the show, what their physical capabilities are, and what we have to do as designers to maximize the effects in the show.
There is never a time that everything we're doing isn't scrutinized and isn't looked at in a way that, that we can make it better.
The most important thing for us designing a show is that the people who pay the money for the tickets are having a great time. It's all about the audience and that reaction that you guys give our kids after hours and hours of work. That's our job in the summer, is to max out that performance for you and for the members.
Are the judges ready?
My name is Bob Thomas.
Good evening, Blue Stars. This is Dallas Niemeyer.
It's my pleasure to be your visual performance judge today.
What we're looking for tonight is the musicality that you display as a total ensemble.
Watch the pacing here. A little bit concerned about the visual development.
Very, very solid.
The DCI judge is one who tries to examine specifics in a program. That's why there's more than one judge. Currently we're using 8 and sometimes 9, and each one of those people has a separate discipline that he focuses on, separate set of sheets, separate kinds of criteria, all geared to focus on finding and rewarding achievement and accomplishment of the performers. All of us, in one degree or another, are looking at what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Yes, excellent job, Sabres.
We have people on the field assessing essentially individual performance. There's an individual visual judge or marching judge, an individual percussion judge on the field, and an individual brass judge. Their responsibility is to assess achievement in small groups, quite often individuals.
That attack wasn't so good there by the tenor's right hand.
We get a different perspective than you would get being up in the stands. We are able to look at minutiae details that are presented, and a lot of teams spend a lot of time with attention to detail. Thank you very much, color guard. You did that very, very well.
Up in the press box or in the upper deck of the stadium, there are 2 general effect judges. One music effect, who's looking at the overall effect of the musical program, percussion and brass, and one visual effect, who's looking at the overall visual package. And those 2 are related. There's a color guard judge who's assessing the color guard's involvement. There's 2 ensemble judges, one music ensemble who's listening to the musicality and proficiency of the entire ensemble. And then there's an ensemble visual judge who's looking at the way the program is put together, the mechanics of the whole thing.
So we're off to the hills, but to enhance it even further,
we allow the instructors to speak to the judges after the competition, and in this case today, in a specialized setting for a longer extended period of time, to discuss what their program is, what their goals are, what they're trying to say with their program. Maybe some of their ideas are not communicating to the audience as a public art yet. It's still a little private for them, and how they can get those ideas to be expressed to the audience a little more clearly, and they become more successful.
Yeah, it really gives us the opportunity to share with the judges exactly what our motivations are, exactly how we wanted to interpret the music, how we're asking the members to interpret the music through their performance. You know, there are always times, especially when the judges see the show for the first time, where they don't quite realize everything that's going on. We go to critique and we explain exactly what our motivation was and what that instrument was, and how we're utilizing it and how it works into the program. And then the next time they see it, light comes on, they say, okay, now I understand. Now I understand what they say, and they'll give us credit for that.
I see the judge as the ultimate drum corps fan. I think the judge and the judges community would comprise the second largest group of people who dedicate the second largest amount of time to the activity. You have to have a passion for the kids, for the product, and the entire environment, the entire process. So I don't think the adversarial relationship is one that has very much merit. I think that we, again, are the ultimate fan, and the success of the drum corps is ultimately the goal of every judge.
I don't want to leave. Play more.
It was something that I would never wish on my worst enemy. It was December of 2002, and I got sick with the flu on about a Tuesday. I was on my way to the bathroom, and I almost passed out. Through that night, I had no idea what was going on at first. I was in the emergency room and just hearing them saying they can't find a pulse and they can't find a vein. And I knew it was getting bad when I heard the echocardiologist say that she was called in, especially for me. Once the cardiologist came, it was probably about a half an hour or so, and they decided they should probably move immediately. And the surgeon came in because they didn't think I was going to make it through the night if I waited. I had what's called myocarditis, which was caused by the flu, because instead of attacking my lungs and causing pneumonia, it had traveled into my heart. And the cardiologist came in and said that I was going to need an artificial heart, which I couldn't believe at the time, and I hadn't It was very shocking. My dad almost passed out actually when he heard what they had to say. I don't remember exactly what they said to me about my prognosis, but I remember my parents telling me that the doctors told them when I went into the OR that I had a 1 in 3 chance of making it out of surgery. I keep my own heart and they'd be able to take the pump out once my heart healed. I had a 1 in 3 chance of them putting the pump in and it not working, or I had a 1 in 3 chance of not making it out of surgery at all. It was never an option that I wasn't going to make it or that this wasn't going to work. It was always going to work and I was going to heal and my heart was going to recover and everything was going to be fine. Coming out of it, I actually don't remember 3 days of my life, but the first thing I remember was this pump in my stomach because it's about this big around and weighs about 5 pounds and is about 2 inches thick. And then also I remember looking down and seeing the staples down my chest because they had to crack my chest bone open to get in there. The first thing I actually said, my dad told me later, was that I didn't have Christmas presents yet for them. And the second was that to tell the marching band that I couldn't go on the bowl trip with them. When I first got sick, I was in the process of changing majors because I realized that music was what I loved and that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And then when I was in the hospital, I received a letter that said I had been accepted to the School of Music, which was really a bright day in all of the process. And the marching band was amazing. They were people that helped me through a lot. The day before they left for the bowl game, came in and said that they're thinking about me and everything. And I watched a tape of the bowl game later, and my section, which is the baritone section, had blown a picture up of me, about a life-size picture, and put my head on a stick and brought it to the bowl game, and it actually made it on the TV. So They Get on a Stick was on TV. I remember putting my hand right here on my chest and looking up at my dad and saying that, he's like, I can feel my heartbeat. And he's like, well, yeah, because the pump is pumping. And I said, no, I feel the pump and then I feel my heart behind it. And that was the one day when I knew everything was going to be okay. They thought I was going to be in the hospital for at least a year with the LVAD and then be able to go home after that. Since I'm young and active, I recovered faster than they ever expected. When I got it taken out, it was a relief, and I knew that I was going to be okay, and that was a big stepping point. The doctors all said I was a miracle child. My dad's a band director, so I've grown up with drum corps my whole life. I actually have a ticket from a drum corps show in my baby book because my dad had to miss a show because I was born. I've gone to shows as long as I can remember, and Phantom Regiment has been a corps that I've always loved. And I always wanted to march somewhere, so I decided to try out, and I made it, which was amazing. And even after all this, I am really glad I'm doing this. And when people say, I can't believe you're doing that, I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna let this get in my way.
Drum corps people are unique people.
It takes a lot of drive to be able to get yourself to do something like this.
You work 16 hours a day to perfect the show over a 10, 12-week period.
The show is never at the level we want it to be, and we always need to take it to the next level.
You're just making it CD quality.
So we wake up in the morning as early as there's a sun out, basically, and we get out here and we step on the field and we try and make this show better.
You can't go out to rehearsal and just practice. You have to go out there and you have to perform it like you're in front of all those people that are going to be there finals night. You have to give it your all every second of the day.
It's physically very demanding, but I don't think that's the hardest part. The hardest part is the mental portion of it and being able to push yourself through the extremely long and extremely hot days.
You take your mind out of your body and you tell yourself, this is not going to stop me. Because yeah, you're sweating and you're disgusting and you feel tired and you say, man, I can't do it one more time. But then something inside you and some of the people next to you say, yes, you can. And before you know it, the rehearsal's over.
1, 2, ready, move!
It's intense.
It's the best feeling in the entire world.
My heart started racing. I was a little bit nervous.
You feel this energy, you feel almost like you're standing up taller and you're taller than everybody else.
I looked to the person I stand next to and I just said, this is gonna be great.
When you first walk in and you look up, it's really overwhelming, the amount of people that have come to watch you.
You look at this huge crowd and the announcer asks us if we're ready, and you're just thinking like, hell yes, I'm ready. This is what I've been waiting for. This is why I woke up early today, unloaded the truck and sweat all day.
On the really long, hot days when you just want to go inside and sit in some air conditioning, the shows definitely make everything worth it.
And it's so exciting to be able to step out on that field and play soft and play mellow and really bring them in and play loud and blow them back in their seat. It means so much when you throw down your horn at the end of the show and you feel everyone's breath right along with you and you know that you've achieved what you've been working for all summer.
And you realize that the entire ensemble is connected.
Nothing can compare to that. When the entire audience stands up for you and you know that it's for all the hard work that you did the whole summer. And it pays off right there.
If I could do this until I die, I would. It's just that awesome.
In the long run, it's what we all do drum corps for. We do it to go out in front of tons of people and try to achieve perfection and have those people witness it and appreciate it.